Welcome back to Optimize You. On this episode, I'm going to talk about setting priorities to achieve your goals, having the right habits in place that you can actually be sustainable with to achieve those goals, and having intention with every single thing that you do instead of going through the motions or checking the boxes. If you like this episode, all we ask is that you like, subscribe, and just share it with one person who you think can benefit from it. Thank you for watching. Now on to the podcast. Something that's been really top of mind as of late is priorities, setting priorities, checking boxes, stuff like that. I know it's something I've talked about on this podcast before, but it's something that I think all of us probably go through at different points of the month, of the year, of the quarter, whatever it may be, in different areas of our life. Maybe in health and fitness, maybe in relationships, maybe in your work, with family, whatever it may be. You just kind of find yourself maybe scattered with priorities, maybe just checking boxes, going through the motions in different activities. And I think this is a huge topic that I can expand on a little bit today. And this has kind of come up in my life with stress. What I kind of figure out is that I go through this cycle of, and I think it's good. I'm having this awareness where, I got help from my fiance, Marissa, where a little while back I'd figured out, or she'd helped me figure out, that just my stress had just continued to go up over the course of a month. And it just got to the point where I was just crazy stressed. I talked about it a little bit on one of these recent podcasts. And what I figured out was kind of one of the main things. And what Marissa helped me figure out was that I had all of these different things that I had set as priority at the start of the day. And like, I thought that everything had to get done. Right. It was like, oh, I gotta work out. I gotta go on a walk. I gotta do yoga. I gotta eat breakfast. I gotta shower. I gotta, just 5 to 10 things that I thought needed to get done. And so I literally was just checking the box on all of those things instead of actually setting what the priority was going to be. It was like, okay, my first priority, my goal of the morning is to get a workout in. Right. And then everything else is bonus. If I can get a workout in and I have time later without stressing about it, to go on a little bit of a walk or to sit out on the patio for a little while, then that was my priority. And I think it's so important in all of the areas of our life to set the priority, to set what the main focal point is. And when it comes down to health and fitness, you have a lot of times, what I did in the past is I was like, I'm going to work on these 5 to 10 habits, and I'm building a sleep habit, and I'm building a movement habit, and a workout habit, and hydration, and protein, and nutrition. It's just all of these different things. And what happens is you end up checking the box, or you end up overwhelming yourself, and then you get all stressed, and it just goes way against what your goal was in the first place. You end up falling off. You end up maybe just getting to the point where you quit. Right. And I think many of us have had that, where it's like you go and you go and you go and you're just trying so hard to do so many things that you fall off the wagon, and then you're restarting again and you try it again and it just doesn't work again. And it's almost like we're banging our head against the wall. And so what I've found is set the main priority, or the 2 to 3 priorities, right? That's why I've always been a huge advocate of 2 to 3 habits. Work on 2 to 3 or 1 to 3 habits, because it's going to depend on your schedule, your lifestyle. What can you actually handle? Right? This is where focusing on your goals is going to be a huge thing. It's like, what is your main goal of your morning, right? You can even break it into, what's your main goal of the morning? What's your main goal of the day? What's your main goal of the week? What's your North Star goal? It's like, oh, I want to get a 6-pack, right? Well, then we can start to break that off into, what are the habits that are going to allow you to build that 6-pack, right? And then, okay, so what habits do you currently have that are around those habits? Which ones can you work on? How much can you handle, right? It's looking at, what are the things that you're doing throughout the day and the week? What are the priorities? What does your work schedule look like? How much time do you have throughout the day? All of this stuff is going to help you determine what habits make sense to work on any given time, right? But that's going to depend on the person. I can't just sit here and tell you that, oh yeah, these are the ones you need to work on. We actually talked about this on a recent podcast. It's about you asking yourself, what are the habits that, and obviously, like, somebody else, a coach, us, we could help you determine the grouping of habits that are going to help you reach your goal. but you need to look inward and decide, okay, which ones am I going to be the most amped to work on right now? Or which ones are going to be the ones that are going to be the easiest for me to work on right now? The ones that are going to be, I'm going to have the most motivation to work on right now. Those are probably the ones that make the most sense to go at, right? Because then, you're going to have a lot more drive to do them. And how many can you handle at once, right? Based on your current lifestyle, your current day to day, your current week, how much of these things, like what is the doable thing that on your worst day, you can nail these 1 to 3 things, right? And the thing is, you continue to do that, you get better with that, you get more efficient with that, and then you can add more in. Maybe for the start of it, you can just handle one habit. It's like, you know what? I'm going to work on going on a 15-minute walk every day. Like that's the high priority item for me right now. That's what I want to do. Right? Maybe eventually you get so good with fitting that into your schedule that now you're able to add in a few, you nail that down. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to up that to 30 minutes and I'm going to work on getting, high, surrounding every meal with protein. Right. And it's like, you start to you get better at this thing. And then all of a sudden, the thing that I've realized is that you look back and you're like, and you've come so far, but during the process, you build it in such a way that's sustainable that you don't even realize all these habits that you're actually building. And so I think that's key. And that checking the box thing, I briefly touched on it, but it's such an easy thing to do, where it's so easy to just try to have so many things that you don't actually have intention with all of those things, right? Like we want to have, whatever we're doing, we want to be intentional with the habits that we have. We want to be intentional when we're doing it. We want to be present with it. A lot of times what I found myself doing is it's like I'm working out, but I'm already thinking about the next thing. It's like, okay, this workout has to be 20 minutes because I still got to go on this walk for 15 minutes. And then after that, I got to make sure I get a meal in, and then I got to shower, and all of this stuff has to be done before I leave the house at 8:15 or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, I'm not even in the moment. I'm not even getting the most out of that workout because it's just a going through the motions type of thing. It's like, I'm thinking about the next thing. I'm not present with it. So I think that's a huge thing, is that making sure that kind of connecting all these dots, that we have priorities, and our priorities for the day or the morning or the week are going to be based on our ultimate goal. Right. And so based on the goal, what are our priorities? What are the habits that we can put in place or that we can work on that are going to make the most sense for us to move in the direction of our goal in a sustainable way, right? Whatever that may be. Again, this could be in health and fitness. This could be in your relationships, your job, whatever it may be. But we start at that main goal. We figure out what the priorities are and the habits are that we're going to work on that given day, week, month, whatever that may be. And we got to figure out what are a sustainable amount of these priorities and habits. And then from there, what I do is that I like to schedule those things in. It's like a Sunday can generally be a good day for a lot of people to look at your week and be like, okay, when am I going to get my workouts in? Or based on your priorities, it's like maybe your workouts are a priority. I got 3 workouts this week that I'm going to hit. Maybe on Sunday, what you do is you look at your schedule and you plan them out. It's like, okay, these mornings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, are going to be a good mornings for me to get the workout in. And that's my priority that morning. That's my priority, is in the morning, I got 2 priorities. It's getting a great workout in for 30 minutes, and it's getting a great solid high protein meal in, right? And then that's a win for the day. And a lot of times what you can do, and what I found myself doing, is it's easy to fall into the trap of, I'm not doing enough, because we look at other people in the same industry doing the similar things to us, but maybe they've been doing it a lot longer. Maybe they have more time than us. We start to compare ourselves to these other habits of these people, or the physiques of these people that have been doing their workouts and being consistent with nutrition and movement and sleep and all of these things for 20, 30 years. And that can derail people, because that can lead to you getting out of your sustainability approach to an approach that's, like I said, where you're trying to do 5, 6, 7, 8 things, and you just find yourself constantly falling off. So hopefully it's been helpful. This is the type of thing where you kind of got to check yourself throughout the year, throughout the month, because this is something I'm sure I've probably, over the course of the first 2 years of doing this podcast, recorded this same type of podcast many times, and that's my work alarm that I got an appointment coming, just so everybody knows. But I'll wrap this up. Again, make sure you check yourself. Hopefully this has been helpful to get you guys a little bit more around the checking of boxes, the priorities, goals, all that stuff. If it was, all we ask is that you like, subscribe, and then share this with somebody who you think you could benefit from this, right? Coworker, friend, family, anybody who you think could get a little bit of benefit from this last 10 minutes of the podcast. We appreciate you. Hope you have a great rest of the day, great rest of the week. I'll be talking to you soon.